Yeah, I love that partnership angle between the CHRO and CIO or CTO in the organization. At the same time, I feel like that striking that partnership is going to be a little bit of a challenge for CHROs. I say that because Gartner did a survey of CEOs to gauge perception of how CEOs are seeing the AI savviness in their C suite across all functions. Perception of CHRO AI readiness in the eyes of CEO was at a mere 7%. That makes the CHRO an outlier in the entire C suite. So, how can a CHRO diffuse that perception so that that partnership can be struck in the most seamless, efficient, and fastest way?
I coach a lot of HR leaders, including CHROs. And one thing that continues to surprise me is how few HR leaders have strong business acumen and a strong understanding of the business in which they operate. So I think that the number one thing that CHROs need to work on in terms of their mindset shift is to think of ourselves as business leaders first and HR leaders second. And if you don't know your P&L inside and out, if you don't know who are our top clients, how do we make money? What is our unit economics look like? What does the competitive landscape look like? Then you've already lost the game before it's even started. And so I think in order to even be invited to the decision-making table, you need to come with a solid understanding of the business and extremely strong business acumen. Because if you think about it, in so many companies, something like 60 to 70% of your OpEx is people-related costs, right? The other thing that HR leaders need to do is often we are the default ethicists of our organizations, right? So in order to continue to get invited to the decision-making table, we need to bring that, not just the business lens, but the human and the ethics lens, the kind of AI for good, responsible AI lens. And we also need to think about how is AI going to affect the work and the workplace. So, for example, AI has been positioned as this thing that's going to help us remove the drudgery from work. I've talked about that. But if we're not careful, it might also remove the meaning from work, right? When work becomes task automation, we risk kind of hollowing out the parts of work that give people agency, that give people learning and connection. And I think HR has a responsibility to design work that's not just efficient, but also enriching. And this is a once in a generation opportunity for us to redesign knowledge work, and we can't afford to squander it.